If you make good money and you have the time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, but your hair is thinning, your energy is off, or you feel weaker than you should, your body is flat, your digestion is bad, that's not just age or stress or genetics. That's input quality. And you may have the most expensive life, the cars, the traveling, the money, all of these things. But if you have cheap inputs, your body and mind will eventually break down and you'll have to stop. And when you don't have the right inputs, you'll have health scares, your energy will be off, you'll be weak, you'll lose motivation, you'll burn out, and you may end up in the hospital because your body cannot take it anymore. And this happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. And I have a friend who happened the same thing. He was running his business and he got to a point where he needed to stop because his health was suffering a lot and his business fell down, but now he's doing good. He ended up getting back and building the business bigger than ever before. And I believe that the most important things can be measured. You can measure how much money you have in the bank, how many cars you have, but you cannot measure your energy levels. You cannot measure your health. You cannot measure your happiness. You may have an idea. You can say, whoa, today I have a 6 out of 10 of energy, but you cannot measure it. Like in the bank account, you can know exactly how much is there. And I believe these things that you can measure are the most important things in the end of the day. And all of this comes down to your biological and physical health. And one thing important here is that high income does not mean high vitality. We have some examples here. Have Bill Gates. He's very rich, a billionaire if I'm not wrong, but he's fat, he's very unhealthy, he's probably very weak, has no energy at all. Then we have Chris Williamson, has a good body, six-pack, is young, has the Lyme disease, which it is for you to see that just having a six-pack, being young and having a good body does not mean that you are healthy. And then we have Sam Ovens here. This is like a 5 to 7 year difference. He went from a pretty healthy looking guy to a very unhealthy looking guy. You can see he became very fat. His eyes are sunken, high cortisol, high stress, very unhealthy. And if he keeps doing this here in a few years, he will have a health scare. The problem is that most high earners are stressed, underslept, inflamed, have bad diets, they're losing their hair. These guys are not a good example, but a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of guys running their business end up losing their hair pretty young because of all the stress and all of the bad inputs. And they're running on caffeine and willpower, which is not sustainable in the long run. I believe that our real wealth comes from having the time, the energy, the appearance, the strength, and longevity. One important thing that you have to know is that your body heals itself. It needs the raw materials, the sun, food, fresh non-polluted hair, and environment for your body to operate at its maximum potential. Here is an example of how things work. So you have raw inputs. When you have the raw inputs, it heals your cell, it repairs the cells. And then it helps with producing the hormones. It helps regulate the hormones if you're producing enough testosterone. If your cortisol is regulated, if your thyroid is doing well, and all of these things influences your hair, your muscles, your energy. If you're gonna lose your hair by your 20s, if your body's flat, if you have energy, you have strength, if you look good, if you have the motivation, the sharpness, the intelligence to do things. All of these things comes down from these raw materials that we ingest. Our environments, what we do on a daily basis, will determine how much energy we have, how intelligent we are, how sharp we are, how we look, how long we'll live. And I believe all these things will make you run your business for longer periods of time, will help you have the best decisions, and will help you have results faster than ever before. And your body does not need drugs, pharmaceutical drugs. Your body does not need motivation. You don't need motivation. You don't need supplements. And you don't need these biohacks that are very promoted nowadays. The cold plunges, the supplements. None of that. You don't need none of that. And when you ingest toxins from processed food, cosmetics, your environment, all of that, it denatures the signals. And when you have denatured signals, this will suffer. This will cause hair loss. Will cause you to be low energy, have a hard time building muscle, to be depressed, have no motivation. So it is very important that your raw materials are dialed in. And now, what to actually eat for you to operate in your maximum level. So first thing we have is grass-fed raw milk colostrum, grass-fed raw cheese, fertile eggs, grass-fed never vaxxed beef or bison. This applies also for the milk, raw butter, oysters, coconut water, avocados, grass-fed never vaxxed liver, small quantities, raw wild-caught fish, local organic fruits. If you're making good money, this is what I would recommend. This is what I would do for my health. This is what I would eat every single day, or 90% of the time. And the 10% of the time would be something like potatoes, or you go out with family, or it's Christmas or whatever, and sometimes you may eat a bit out of the diet. But if you do this 90% of the time, you'll see that you will have more energy, you'll have better hormones, you'll have less inflammation, you'll be more sharp, you'll have less cravings, your health will skyrocket, you'll be more intelligent, your business will do better. And this is what happened with one of my clients who has a business. His name is Charles. You can see his testimony on the first link in the description. And just by fixing his digestion, his diet, his lifestyle, he had more energy to run the business, to be with his wife, to be with his kids. And he was feeling the best ever. Just for you to see how your health is very important when it comes for you to run a business, to be healthy, to make more money even. And eating out. The important thing here of when eating out is not to do damage. So order steak, oysters, butter. Avoid sauces, fried food, grains, dessert, alcohol, juices that are not freshly squeezed. If it's a freshly squeezed orange juice, that's okay. When you eat out, you want to avoid doing damage. And you don't get fat, lose your hair, health, lose your drive and edge because of aging or stress from business. It's because of your inputs. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of guys making millions and billions who did it. Mark Zuckerberg went from a nerd, out of shape dude to looking better, being healthier, having a better shape. We have Alex Becker at 26. He was drinking, probably had bad diet, a bad physique. At 34, he has better physique than ever before. He's eating very healthy. And we have Elon Musk, lost 30 pounds. So if they did, you can also do it. And I bet all of them felt the difference, felt more energy, feel like they're sharper, can do better at the business. Now, hair loss. I'm going to simplify it here. Hair loss is not only genetics. I'd say that it's like 70%, 30%. 70% what you do, 30% genetics. Me, I have a full hair, as you can see. My dad has no hair. My mom's brothers are losing their hair. Some have no hair at all. My granddad had no hair. And me, I should have no hair if it was only genetics. My dad, with my age, was already losing his hair, and by 30, he was fully bald. So what causes hair loss is chronic stress, bad fats, seed oils, and processed sugars, low minerals, heavy metals, and poor hormonal signaling. Heavy metals are very dangerous, not just for you to lose your hair. They make your hair white, and they can make you sick. So avoiding heavy metals as much as possible should be your main priority here. Seed oils. These lower testosterone, cause more inflammation, worsen the hair quality. They give you less energy, and they produce toxic byproducts in your body. So what is the solution? Raw butter, raw cream, raw egg yolks, bone marrow, raw coconut. These are all the fats that you should be having. Why? They hydrate your cells, they protect the skin, smoothen the hair, you have more energy, better hormones, heals the gut, heals skin conditions. Fats are one of the most important things when it comes when it comes to health, having energy, producing your hormones. Now, oysters, the man supplement. This is probably the only supplement that you want as a man. Zinc is for testosterone. It will help you with testosterone. Minerals for hair pigment, libido and energy, minerals for bone, muscle, brain, cognitive boost, faster recovery. And one rule, eat 10 plus a day and you'll see a big change on how you feel. As you can see here, zinc is essential for protein synthesis, so it will help you with muscle building. It is key for processing hair follicle function and skin integrity. And zinc deficiency is clinically linked with hair loss and dermatitis. So eating oysters will be a game changer for you as a man. Then the sun, one of the most important things that you can do for your health. Rules: morning sun, skin exposed, no sunglasses early. Results: better sleep, higher testosterone, better hair growth, better mental health. Depending on your skin tone, it will determine how much sun that you'll have every single day. Don't burn yourself, don't be stupid and spend a whole day in the sun that you burn yourself out. And there's a study showing here that men with lower vitamin D levels have higher chances of going bald. So have some sun in your skin, your face, and your hair for you to keep your hair. So if you follow these rules, I guarantee that you'll see some improvements in your health, your energy levels, building muscle, your hormones. And if you run a business and you want to operate your maximum potential, you want better physique, you want more energy, better digestion, be sharper, sleep better, go in the first link in the description, book a free call, and let's see if we can work together. See y'all in the next video.